Ravine rundown. A little odd. We are on, Jeff, in the middle of a Dodger game. It's 3-3 in the fifth. We just gave up a home run to De La Cruz. Pajes didn't make a great play in the outfield, but
Mhm.
no, listen, we go to New York, take 2 out of 3, see two of the top pitchers that the Yankees have. Maybe the guy that's going to win the Cy Young, maybe the Cam kid, and you take 2 out of 3, and then you come to Philly and you see Sanchez, Nola, Wheeler, and the Dodgers have a chance to win the series tonight. I mean, you feeling good about that?
I love where we're at. We're grinding. We're not playing our best. But we're finding ways to win, and it's not always pretty. It's not always what all the bandwagon Dodger fans like, but it is what it is, right? And this is good for us. These are good tests. This is a good road trip. We're fighting a tornado or fighting rain delays, all sorts of stuff. I think this is
Yeah,
going to build some tough skin for us moving forward.
I agree. The Dodgers then have they it's a weird series. I mean, it's weird. They go to New York. So they have Thursday off and they go to New York next. And New York scares me in the sense that they're a struggling team. Everybody's kind of doing this, saying this about them, but then the Dodgers go in there and everybody plays like it's a World Series. And the Dodgers are 64-38 right now, best record in baseball. Um, and again, there's a lot of Dodger fans out there that are not super happy. I think we have a friend by the name of Izzy. We call him Win at All Costs Now Izzy, and he'll be on I think next week. But Izzy expects 162-0.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and we love Izzy because we've known him forever. He's a basketball coach with us. He's an LA guy. He's a diehard Dodger fan. But Izzy is not unlike other people out there. Is Izzy should he feel this way? He's allowed to? He's a Dodger fan, and
yeah,
Dodgers
yeah,
spend a
yeah,
lot of money.
yeah. Fans should feel however they want to feel. It is what it is,
Yeah,
right? That's
yeah,
the greatest thing about it. I love all Dodger fans. They love the Dodgers, even though I don't always agree with the takes, and you and I think differently, right? But that's the joy of being a fan. That's all right, and that's fun.
yeah, yeah. I think I'm probably maybe the most different Dodger fan out there. I'm only positive. I don't think anything negative. I like to, on the social media side of things, challenge what people have to say in a positive way. But yeah, it's 64-38 Dodger fans,
Mark,
and
that it's going to be a good segue though, because our first topic I'm not too positive about.
okay. But before we get into that, yeah, before we get into the Will Smith sideline stuff, I talked with the TV play-by-play guy Alex of the Oklahoma City Comets, and he just got done watching Edwin Diaz pitch. And I said, "Give me your thoughts," and he said he looked absolutely fine.
Great,
So
great.
I
Thank
don't
goodness.
look at those numbers. I know I think he gave up a run or whatever. I know Oklahoma City right now is not played well in the last few games on the road there. I know they're in Sacramento right now, but his comment was Edwin Diaz looked fine. So that's a good sign. There's some inside, well, it's not inside information, but we heard it right from the source, Alex, who is TV play-by-play for the Oklahoma City Comets. So thank you, Alex, for that. Alex is a good friend of mine. We just had lunch the other day. So Edwin
Great.
Diaz, ready to come back soon. Kike
That's great
Hernandez,
news.
ready to come back soon.
That's great news.
Okay, so let's get into it then. You talked about a segue. Will Smith with this neck issue. It says right there, looking to come back in August. He's on the 60-day IL. Were gathering from what you said, you seem very concerned about Will Smith. Is that something I am picking up on that?
Yeah, inflammation's always a good thing. It's not a good thing, but it's better than other issues. But Mark, the neck thing with catchers is a whole nother story, right? So he recently he stopped all baseball activities. He wasn't progressing. He had some setbacks. So it's gonna take him a bit, man. I, I think he's what is he, a top five? He's a top five hitting catcher in all of baseball, and he's
Yeah.
a defensive guru. But Mark, this concerns me. I'm not worried that this long-term thing, but I'm talking about this year. Now, the one thing that could be good is that he could get, if we make a really great postseason run, he can get hot at the very end at the right time. But he's going to need a few more than a week or two to get it dialed up. That's going to be an issue.
So you're concerned. Would you be comfortable if Dalton Rushing was the everyday catcher? What if Will Smith doesn't return? Dalton Rushing's our everyday catcher. Now, right now, as of right now, Dalton Rushing has drove in 3 runs as a home run. He's hitting 250, 11 homers, and 40. He's got 48 hits right now. I have said for a long time, I think Dalton Rushing could start for 90% of the Major League Baseball teams out there. And I think 90% of the teams would probably take Dalton Rushing. Is it that Will Smith is such a stud for our team that it's worrisome that Dalton Rushing could be the starting catcher the rest of the way? Is that in your thought?
He's a rookie, right? That's the deal. But I mean, if he was an everyday guy with his projected home run numbers, he'd be what, 22 to 30 something odd home runs, you know? And for
Yeah.
catchers, that's pretty legit, right? I would say there's only probably, trying to think, 7 maybe hitting catchers better than him. What's he batting? 240? I think you said 240 something.
Well,
So
he's hitting 250 as of this moment right now. He's hitting 250.
yeah, I love the guy. He's fiery. He's not a grizzled veteran, so he's got some immaturity with him. But with immaturity, like, he comes with passion. He wants to win. He's never been there before. Like, man, this should excite some people. We have to take kind of the bad with the good with young guys, and I think that's what's going on. Will Smith is so steady, and he's a calming presence for everybody. But you know what Will Smith is great at is defense, and he can really command a strike zone. And we've seen some
Yeah.
issues with Dalton Rushing on that, and you can kind of see him getting frustrated. And that's just he hasn't played, Mark.
Yeah, I'm perfectly okay with Dalton Rushing. Just from talking to other Dodger inside people that have been around Dalton Rushing, they love him. They love his passion. What I have been told about Dalton Rushing, about people that have been around him on a day-to-day basis, is he is completely different off the field as he is on the field. It's his passion and desire to want to win and the perfection what makes Dalton Rushing, I think, awesome. I love that he's got this fire as a young
Yep.
guy.
Yep.
I'm okay with Dalton Rushing. Like, I didn't look up the numbers, and I probably should have, but Dalton Rushing almost, he's hitting 250. Will Smith, doesn't hit much more over 250. I mean, I could probably be fact checked on that, but Dalton Rushing's numbers, if you let him play out through a full season, he's going to have comparable numbers to Will Smith. Now, what's the difference between Dalton Rushing and Will Smith is Will Smith is known and has been a big time clutch hitter when it matters the most, in the most pressure packed at bats of all time. And Will Smith has always come through. So please, Dodger fan, I am not comparing Will Smith and Dalton Rushing in terms of that, but we have a very, very, very good catcher. We have a starting catcher that is our backup catcher. Now, what is your thoughts? I've kind of got into it a little bit on social media. I wouldn't say I got into it, but I discussed this. Do the Dodgers need to go and get an emergency backup third catcher to go behind Dalton Rushing? Because, again, Dodger fans were not happy with Chucky. And now they're starting to see that Edgar Alfonso, he doesn't hit either.
No.
So he's hitting like 0.88 or something along those lines.
And everybody's rooting for him. All Dodger Nation's rooting for him too.
Yeah. But what's scary to me is now all of a sudden Dodger fans think we need to go out and get an emergency catcher for Rushing. Is that something we need to do? Are you on that line of thinking right now? Like, the Mets have the guy, I don't even like saying his last name because I don't know how, Ben Rothfeld or whatever his name is, from the guy from last year, who I think had lightning strike in a bottle.
Yeah.
Are the Mets why? Dodger fans need to understand, why would people want to just say, Dodger fans are easy to say, we need to trade for this guy. We're going to get this guy. Let's go get this guy. But why do teams even want to trade with us? Does that philosophy at all make sense to you?
No, this is the exact reason why we have Dalton rushing, is to fill in for Will Smith in moments like these, and this is his moment, and we should be behind the kid because he's a backup catcher. We know he's the future. The runway's long. I mean, because he's waiting behind Will Smith, Mark. But this is a serious injury, right? And we do
Yeah.
not need to sit. We do not need to give away prospects to get a guy for a rental because Dalton Rushing is going to take those at bats. He's going to be. He's going to fill the. We just need to keep it as it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Backup's the backup.
Yeah. And I'm okay with who we have as our backups. I like Chucky. I like Alphon. I like those guys. Like I'm perfectly good with that. I like that Rushing gets to play every day. I think this is what's needed. So as we're going to go into our next segment, we're going to talk a little bit of pitching. Dodgers in the top of the sixth. It's 3-3. Freddie Freeman, Hall of Famer. Let's just say what it is. Hall of Famer. He's at bat. But let's talk Dodger pitching staff. I wrote down some numbers. Robo and Sheehan.
Mm.
Sheehan's an all-star. He looked really good in the all-star game, except Freddie. By the way, Freddie Freeman just got another hit tonight, so that's awesome to see. Robo proved he could really throw it at an elite level. He made one bad pitch to a former Dodger.
Robo's an all-star.
Yeah. Made one bad pitch to Miguel Vargas in the all-star game, which I was perfectly cool seeing Miguel Vargas hit a home run. But
yeah, no doubt.
Let's look at these stats. So Sheehan and Robo. Robo 11-2, 262 ERA, 80 Ks, 21 base on balls, and a 1.01 WHIP. Sheehan 4-7, 5.13 ERA, 99 strikeouts, 27 base on balls, 1.27 WHIP. The problem with Sheehan the last 3 games, he's given up 9 runs. Do you see Robo in a perfect world? Snell comes back, Glasnow comes back, Ohtani's left knee. By the way, Muncy, Mad Max, home run. Dodgers go up 5-3.
Yeah, Max.
Do you see Robo sticking in this rotation with Snell, Glasnow coming back, Ohtani? Let's say Ohtani's knee is okay. Does Robo stick around? I mean, the playoffs, you use 3-4 guys. Is Robo in the mix?
At that point, you're talking about being the 5th guy, possibly 6th if Sheehan's ahead of him. I don't know, man. Robo's outpitched Emmett for sure.
Yes.
Emmett has tons of upside, which, they're just different pitchers, right? But we're gonna the Dodgers are gonna have to make a decision of is Robo like in the middle of the game inning eater? I don't know. Like he's just been so consistent. Like how do you not pitch him?
I think Robo is going to stick in the rotation for the entire rest of the season. I really believe that. I know Snell's right now with OKC. I haven't heard much about Glasnow. But Sheehan is the one guy. I love Sheehan. I love his upside. I hear a lot of people say, let's get him, put him in the trade market. I like Sheehan. I mean, it's not easy for young pitchers to go in and it's hard. It's got to be tough pitching for a Dodgers rotation. 4-7, 5.13 REA, 99 strikeouts. Now, I wrote it down there. It's not listed on the screen here. I wrote down Roki. He's 3-5 in 86 innings, 4.9 ERA, 85 Ks, 34 base on balls, and a 1.34 WHIP. So Sheehan's got a better WHIP than Roki. He's got more strikeouts than Roki, giving up less base on balls, but yet everybody wants to knock Sheehan. I actually really like Emmett Sheehan. I really, really like him. I know there's people out there that don't. Could you see Sheehan being a guy in late season, maybe a playoff run, a 1-inning, 2-inning guy to kill something, maybe even as a bullpen starter? Could you see Sheehan doing that? I don't know. I don't see. I've even heard people say Sheehan's not even going to make the playoff roster.
No, boy.
I can't predict that. You just never know what's going to happen with that. But I like Sheehan. Talk to me. Talk to me about Sheehan.
I mean, when his fastball's on, it's pretty legit, right? And he has the type of arm that helps you win playoff games. He's just not consistent. So going about your approach of maybe throwing him an inning or here or there might be a fantastic weapon that we have. In fact, I'll have a little cheers to that. He might be a fantastic weapon right there in a playoff game, but I think he's a future top 3 guy in our pitching rotation, absolutely. It's just man, Mark, Robo is just so consistent. Yeah, I don't know. It's a the Dodgers. That's a diff. Obviously, they're monitoring. That's a difficult decision moving forward. I I
Yeah.
I lean Robo, but I love Sheehan too. I think if he gets it going, he could be pretty magical for us.
Yeah, I think if you said, "Hey, Barikoff brothers, you got the choice. We're both picking Robo," and I think that's a no-brainer. I'm actually probably going to go Robo, Roki, then Sheehan at this point. Even though I like Sheehan's strikeout numbers to walks, I like his whip better than Roki. But Roki's shown some good signs here of late. But Sheehan has also. It's just been a bad little stretch.
Yeah.
Hey, Dodger fans, be thankful we got what we have because there's probably a lot of teams out there that would want these dudes.
Yeah.
Um, let me throw this. It's going to be a little off topic. In a week or so, we're going to have my buddy. His name is Arthur. Arthur covers the Ontario Tower Buzzers. Um, Arthur's going Arthur's going to be on, and he's going to talk some Ontario Tower Buzzers baseball. He's pretty close with that organization. He's close with the players on that team. He and I just connected like 3 weeks ago. So it's going to be cool to hear him. We had Austin Rudebaker on last week or so. He would have been like, Austin's one of those guys that analytically could have broke this pitching stuff down for us. You and I are just we like talking Dodger baseball. So does Austin, but like he's well known for his analytics. Um, but there's some exciting things. There's another Dodger guy out there named Bruce Kuntz. That's a big time Dodger.
Bruce.
Bruce is going to be on here pretty soon. A lot of people, while we're just sitting here, a lot of people are loving what we're doing. They love the vibe of the show. So it's pretty cool to see. So let's go into the last segment. We've got about 10 so minutes here. I know this is going to be a passionate subject for you. I'm going to be the Mr. Positive guy on this, although, man, I looked at his last 10 games and his Kyle Tucker. So Kyle Tucker, 179, 7 hits, 2 RBIs, 2 runs. That's his last 10 games, and that's not including tonight. And then if you're watching, most of these Dodger fans are watching the broadcast. Tucker hasn't taken a walk in, a couple games. That's a scary thing for me. I know his analytics defensively are not phenomenal. Let's hear your take before we jump into my take. What's your thoughts on Kyle Tucker, who's actually at bat right now? He's 0 for 2, hitting 237 currently.
I root for him. I want him to do well for us. He is struggling, and there's major concern here for me, at least for this season, not for in the future. I think his back's been hurt, right? And
Yeah.
I was doing some research on backs and hitting, and I think that it's causing. I think it's a real thing he's dealing with. This is his worst whiff rate of his entire career. He's not even hitting balls that he's not even squaring up. This is the worst he has ever looked, and there's major concern. And if I would point at it's probably his back. He's trying to play through it. He's moving around his stance. He's like loading up too soon. He's doing all these things, and I think it's a direct correlation to his back. Now, I don't know. I'm not there day to day, but Mark, he's not been hitting the ball.
Well,
this is the worst he's ever been.
And if you want to go into a live update, he just struck out on a called strike that was in the zone. There's, it brings up another thing. Tio Hernandez is 1 for 2 tonight. While I was looking at Tucker's stuff, Tio, I know this is a topic about Kyle Tucker, but Tio right now is 6 for 53. That's with his hit tonight. So he was 5 for 52 before he got a hit. That's our left and our right fielders. So let's get back to the Kyle Tucker thing. I'm under the belief that I'm just going to continue to wait. I have a feeling in October he's going to come through for us. You say why he's not coming through at all for us? I don't know. Guys like Kyle Tucker for me, like in the big moments, those guys are big moments guys. As much as it pains me to say, because I don't believe in what they did, but he's a World Series champion with that other team over there in Texas. Um,
Yeah,
but
Mark, I
yeah,
was
I'm with you. His swing doesn't look good. He looks antsy in the plate. There's something going on there. I just have to believe in my confidence and my positivity that Kyle Tucker's going to figure it out. But every time I say that, I look at his last 10 games, and again, he's hitting 179, and it's probably even lower after tonight. 7 hits, 2 ribbies, 2 runs. I mean, that's not good.
here's a stat I pulled on him. His chase rate has increased to 25%. His last 2 years, Mark, he's been between 17.5 and 17.6.
Now, you take into a that's the Dodger effect of I'm playing on the let's just say it, the team that has the most money has spent the most money. I was a big name signing. They're looking for their three-peat. Is that him putting a lot of pressure on himself to be that
Yes.
right fielder?
You look at the numbers, he's swinging at 46% of the first pitches, and 20% of those are outside the zone. So he's trying, right? That's double what he did last year, Mark, doubling it. So one, it goes to okay, let's say he's got a back thing that they're working on. He's trying too hard. He's got pressure. Um, so the zone is expanding for the pitchers real early, and he's behind in every damn count. So, but at the end of the day, the dude's a human, and I get it, but he's also a multi millionaire. And I would like to see him at this time of the season figure that out because of what has been given to him. Like, come on.
Yeah, and I'm not going to disagree. I think you're speaking for a lot of Dodger fans. I don't buy into the why did we get him? I can't believe we got him. What a terrible
Totally.
signing. I don't
Totally.
I don't think that. Kyle Tucker is a perennial all-star.
Yep.
He's won a Gold Glove. He's won a World Series. It's like if you're going to say that, then you're questioning the Dodgers front office and the
Yeah, no
reason to
doubt.
go get him. And why would you ever question AF ever? Um,
Yeah.
I'm just not going to do that. I'm not at that point yet with him. The Dodgers, again, I said it is 64-38 with Kyle Tucker struggling,
Yeah.
and you've brought up great points. I can't argue those points. Again,
Yeah.
I read the numbers the last 10 games. He's hitting 179, and he's 0 for 3 tonight with a strikeout. And it might have been more than that, but
Yeah.
I have to believe somehow he's going to figure it out. Somehow he's going to make some big hits for us in October. And then in typical Dodger fashion, the fans are going to forget all about the negativity.
Yeah.
And they're going to praise Kyle Tucker. And that's what I'm hoping happens.
I don't think he's 100% healthy. That is my call on this. You don't just not be good all of a sudden. It's just you're a Dodger. You go through it. I get it, but I think he's going through something, Mark. He's not even hitting the ball as hard as he ever had either. So, but he puts on a Dodger uniform and he doesn't hit the ball as hard. No, I think he's got something going on.
I'm listening to the Dodgers talks about how he never takes BP, and now all of a sudden he is, and how hard he works after the games downstairs in Dodger State. Like, those are interesting things to me.
Yeah.
Like, by the way, Dodgers are up 5-3, bottom 6, 1 out. Dave just took out Lauer. Lauer shook his head. I think Lauer wanted to keep going, but Brock Stewart's coming in. But we're saying all this stuff, and again, the Dodgers just took 2 out of 3 from the Yankees.
Yeah.
They have a chance tonight to take 2 out of the 3 from Philly to go 4-6, 6-2 on this road trip before they go into New York. And we're sitting here talking, and Kyle Tucker's not even hitting. We don't have Glasnow. We don't have Snell. We don't have Edwin Diaz.
Will Smith.
Mookie's not hitting the ball. Mookie's having to get dropped even more in the lineup to the 5th spot. It's crazy that this is where we're at. And again, I've said it before. I've said it the last few years on other Dodger platforms, on podcasts. We're very spoiled as Dodger fans. We're very spoiled. And we're sitting here talking about a perennial all-star in Kyle Tucker who's not hitting at all. But imagine if Kyle Tucker figures this thing out and you get Edwin back and you get Snell back. And again, we don't even have Will Smith playing. We're going with I wouldn't even say he's a second year guy. I mean, he's Dalton Rushing behind the plate. I love where we're at. So we've just got a couple more minutes. I want to ask you this. We're going to go. It's not going to be on the screen on terms of the topic, but I used to my feeling on prospects, and I've said it before on this show over and over again. I think some of these guys are untouchable. Are you willing right now to trade a Serrata, a De Paula, Emil Morales, a Ryan Ward, any of these guys? I'm just throwing out random names for a big name guy, and I'm gonna preface this by saying you can get a known commodity. And as much as we like these high level prospects that, I just saw Eric Cross, who's got the tool shed fantasy stuff, is thinking Dodgers have the argument for two of the top number one players in baseball with the Seattle pitcher, Kate Anderson, whatever.
Yeah.
Are you willing to trade those guys to get a guy that could help you for 2 years and you'd be willing to lose those guys? Are you willing to lose to get a known commodity for a prospect that is not a known professional commodity in Major League Baseball?
Here's what I say. If Snell and Glasnow cannot pitch, and I know this in the Oregon, they cannot pitch moving forward, I would. But if they're going to be able to start throwing and getting back on the mound, I wouldn't do it. We have enough pitching. We don't need to sell. We don't need to sell our prospects. But I mean, if those guys are going to struggle and it's not looking good, Mark, on the inside of that organization, I'm pulling the trigger. I'm going after it. And we don't know those things. We're not behind closed doors. They're not going to let that stuff out. We're not on the training table. We're not watching what they're doing and seeing how they're moving and talking and acting. Those things are massive if Glasnow and Snell aren't able to perform in 2 months, right? Or whatever the case may be.
I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say Tibbs is going to be off the table. I'm not going to give you my reason why. I'm just going to say Tibbs is going to be off the table. I would love to see Ryan Ward dealt so that Ryan Ward could go play somewhere because he's not going to play within the Dodgers organization. He's not. Where is he going to go?
Yeah.
I'd love to see Ryan Ward be able to go to another team and get the opportunity like Bush and Vargas have gotten. I think Tibbs is not going to be part of any trades. But I could see, and I've changed my tune in the last couple of weeks. I could say Serrata, Dave DePaula, Emil, Yohenry Vargas, all the guys that you and I and all these other Dodger fans that really know the prospects love.
Mm-hmm.
Zaire Hope.
Yeah.
I could see those guys being dealt for a big name guy. Now, there's the other argument that I've heard people talk about and just Dodger people that the Dodgers are not going to make a big splash. I saw that on social media. I've heard that from people in the know. Dodgers are not going to make a big splash. They're going to go after a guy that fits the organization, but they also might be able to deal a high-end prospect for a guy that might not be a big-name guy, and it might not excite Dodger fans, but it might excite people within the organization. So,
yeah,
it's an interesting debate. The Dodgers are very fortunate, as good as they are. They've got a lot of guys that they can deal, and they still would be okay within their minor league system. So, anyways, thoughts coming up. We've got the Mets coming up. The Dodgers have a chance tonight to go, 65-38?
Yep.
Give me your last thoughts as we end the show tonight. Give me your last thoughts as we go into the Mets series. Thoughts. Talk to me.
I'm calling a sweep of the Mets.
Wow. Okay.
It's going to happen. It will happen. A couple things of note. Andy Pajes is going to start raking big time here. I think he's due. Kyle Tucker is going to struggle for the next 3 weeks, and I think he's going to hit his stride. That's going to be my timing of that is before playoffs. He's going to start feeling some mojo, but I don't think we've seen the worst yet from him. I think it's going to get worse for the next couple of weeks, and then it's going to go. He's going to skyrocket. I just have a feeling that's going to happen for him. I think he's just working through so many things, Mark. The pitching thing, I have no clue what's going on there, dude. I don't. I wish like I could see the training table and see what those guys are doing, how they're moving and feeling. So I don't know. I don't know. And I'm
I
gonna
think, yeah, go ahead.
and I don't think we're gonna make any big splash moves. And if we do, if the move is the move, then I think that there are issues with our pitching staff that they know something that we don't.
Which is how it always works. I think what's beautiful about Dodger fans is there's a lot of hope. We've been spoiled with AF and what he's done. Um, it's carrying over. The Rams are making big moves. Sorry, this is a Los Angeles show. The Rams are making big moves. I'm sorry, you're a Bears fans, Jeff, but the Lakers are now trying to want to make big moves. Um, I'm excited where we're at. I don't know if we sweep. I think if we could always take 2 out of 3 from teams in the World Series that way. I'd love to see Sheehan figure it out. I'd love to see Roke figure it out. I love that Dalton Rushing's hitting tonight. It's awesome to see Tommy Edman. I know you work with a gentleman by the name of Ron that doesn't, is not a big Max Muncy fan, but hey, Ron, it's time to jump on the Mad Max, fandom here. He's having a phenomenal year. He's an all-star. He's hit another home run today. Tommy Edman just got a hit. And the other thing is we're going to be on more consistently now that all of our basketball stuff is done as we head into the August stuff. We've got some exciting guests coming on. So, Jeff, I think you and I are probably going to play a little later tonight on the PS5. And let's go Dodgers. And guys, if you can follow us, you've got Coach Bearcock Ball's Twitter up. You've got the Ravine. Give us a follow. Shoot us messages. We love the Dodgers, Jeff and I do. And we appreciate everybody. Go Dodgers. And we're out of here. See you guys.